Welcome to the Getting Started instructional video for iGuideline. In this video, we will demonstrate how to create a file and enter data to obtain a proper calculation of the amount of child support that would be payable for a fictional set of parents who have one child. And with that brief introduction, let's start by going to the desktop for our Mac. Alright, we've reached our desktop, so we will begin by starting iGuideline using the icon in the dock. Upon opening Guideline, we are presented with the Welcome window. In this example, the user does not have a subscription. However, as you can see, they have already purchased a file which can now be used to create a calculation. We start by clicking the Create New File button, which will open a window where we will enter the names and dates of birth for the parents as well as the calculation year. Our parent names in this example are Kyle Smith and Jessica Smith, who are both 30 years old. You'll notice the warning icons are displayed for each parent, indicating that they must be at least 15 years of age. Our parent names in this example are Kyle and Jessica Smith, who are both 30 years old. You'll notice that there are warning icons displayed for each parent, indicating that they must be at least 15 years of age. So let's enter the information for the parents first. And now Jessica. Next is the calculation year. iGuideline allows users to do calculations for prior years. However, in this example, the calculation will be for the current year, 2017, so we don't need to do anything here. As this is a file being created by a user without a subscription license, the parents' names and dates of birth, as well as the calculation year, will be locked once the file is created. So it's important that we double check that the information that's entered is correct. Once we're satisfied the information is correct, we can proceed with the file creation by clicking on the Continue button. Once we've done that, the Create New File window opens, which allows the user to choose the name of the file and the location where it will be saved. In this instance, we will use the default name of Smith & Smith, and we'll save our file to the iCloud folder for iGuideline, which will allow the file to be accessed and opened from any of the user's computers. You will notice that the summary of information that will be locked in the file is set out at the bottom of the window. If any of that information were wrong, the user could click the Cancel button, which would allow them to make the needed corrections before proceeding. As the information is correct, we now click the Save button. Our file is now saved in the cloud and automatically opens in the File and Court Information view. The first thing we will do is click on the Parent Details button in the screen navigation area of the window to show our Parent Details view. One of the first things you'll notice is the warning icon. One of the first things you'll notice are the warning icons next to the Eligible for WITB text. Warning icons like this are iGuideline's way of letting the user know that additional information needs to be entered. Warning icons are often also buttons that can be clicked on to show the area where the additional information can be entered. We'll start here with Kyle. We can now see that the WITB, or Working Income Tax Benefit, eligibility sheet is now displayed. The criteria for this benefit is set out in the sheet. Some of it requires input from the user, and other criteria is automatically determined by iGuideline. In this instance, our parent meets all the user entered criteria, so we will check the boxes, and we will click on the OK button to close the sheet. Now we'll do the same thing for Jessica. She also meets all the criteria, so we will check off the boxes and close the sheet. We now click on the Children Details button to show the view where we can enter the information about the party's child. First, we add the child by clicking on the Add Child button. Next, we fill in the child's name and date of birth. We are now ready to enter income information for the parents, so we click on the Income and Deductions button to go to that view. This displays the basic income view where we will enter the required information. iGuideline has a basic and detailed income mode, which can be selected from the toolbar. In our example, all the required information can be entered in the basic income mode, so we will use this view to enter the information. Kyle has employment income of $79,000 and Jessica has employment income of $45,000, so we will enter those amounts. Kyle also pays union dues of $800 a year, so we will enter that amount in the Guideline Allowed Deductions section of the window, as union dues are allowable deduction for the purposes of calculating a parent's guideline income. Next, we will go to the Special Expenses section for Jessica. Here we can see that there are 6 different kinds of special expenses a parent can have. In our example, Jessica only has a childcare expense for Liam, so we will enter that expense. Once again, we can see that there is a warning icon indicating that additional information is needed, in this instance about whether or not the expense is tax deductible. We'll click on that icon to display the area where we can enter that required information. As all the criteria for tax deductibility are met, we will check the boxes and dismiss the sheet. We can now see from the information contained in the bottom of the window that with $5,000 in tax-deductible childcare expenses, Jessica will have tax savings as well as increases in benefits she will receive. iGuideline calculates these amounts and takes them into account in determining what Jessica's net childcare expenses are, as it is the net childcare expenses which are apportioned between her and Kyle. In addition to showing the individual tax savings and increased benefits, iGuideline also allows users to display further details of how each number was calculated. To show those details, users can simply click on the Details button to the right of the numbers. We can now go to the summary view and review all of the calculations. Within this view, we can see that iGuideline has correctly calculated the parties' guideline incomes for the purposes of the Section 3 table amount, including Kyle's, which is his income from employment less the union dues he pays. Based on one child living with Jessica, the table amount payable by Kyle has also been properly calculated. Finally, the total net Section 7 special expenses, the percent share of special expenses, and the monthly amount each parent pays as their proportionate share of the other's special expenses are also shown. A summary of the Section 3 table amounts and Section 7 special expense amounts is shown below those numbers. In this example, you will see that the amount payable by Kyle to Jessica is $825 per month. As the calculation is now complete, the user can now print off reports or create PDFs of the reports, which can be emailed to or shared with the other parent. In this example, we will use Mac OS's Open PDF in Preview function to view the summary of child support printout on screen. That concludes this brief video. We thank you for watching. If you'd like to learn more about what iGuideline can do for you, please watch our other instructional videos. You can also download iGuideline for free from the Mac App Store and start your own calculation today.